Defaulted out. Okay, redo.
The whole stream?
Just now they can hear you now. So yes.
Okay, but we're not actually starting the stream over.
No, we can't.
So I don't have to give them the secrets to 500 feet once again.
Yeah.
So we'll just start from here. Okay, well, those of you joining us now, I gave you, it wasn't important when I said it was just like all my top distance secrets, and then I just wanted to know why you watch these videos on replay. That was it. So, good morning, Alcaraz. Okay. Absolutely, Anthony. All right, Jaws, welcome. We'll do yours first. I'll pull it up here. Yeah, just as way of reminder, we've got a couple new Patreon tiers. So we've got, if one form review a month is not enough for you and you're looking to put in work this off season, Mikey, me, Cam, we all have daily form reviews tiers, which is Monday through Friday basically, some Saturdays depending on if like we miss a day in the middle of the week or something like that for whatever reason. But business daily form reviews, basically. So that's if you're putting in a lot of work. We've got two $100 versions of that, me, Mikey, and then Cam's kind of our air quotes budget option. It's not lesser quality. I think he's going to prove himself pretty quickly and move his price point up pretty soon. So, yeah. I mean, if you're paying $15 for one, and you can go with Cam, and you just do it weekly, you're already making more value. Just once weekly. Not bad. I just thought about that. Means you got to do it like 8 times with Mikey and I.
Sorry, Grayson. We were supposed to play basketball this morning. I forgot we had form reviews.
Oh, wow. Basketball?
Yeah. 1v1.
1v1. Get me out of here. I do not. Basketball's not my thing. It's fun 1v0. 1v0, really fun. 1v any actual other amount of people, not fun. Fun fact, my initials are JAW. And my first son, his initials are JAW. So I'm Jaws 1 and he's Jaws 2. And I've got another boy on the way. And we're thinking about making his initials JW. Just go Jaws 3. Okay, so this position right here is pretty problematic, where you like open up your front leg. Because you get kind of your hip, you get torn in two here. Wait, your initials are also JAW, or your initials and your son's initials are JAW? All right, so during this final step, you're opening here with your lower body. You're taking your toes and moving forward like that, right? And you're trying to reach back. So you're kind of being pulled in two directions. Your hips are trying to open forward here, but you also need to try to get back, right? So it's way easier to get back if you let this kind of naturally drift the opposite direction. So right now you're actively going forward with it. We want to passively let it move backwards. So as the shoulders turn back, you can see that it's going to turn my hip here. but I'm trying to just turn my shoulders. I'm not trying to turn my hips, right? That's me twisting and turning my hips back. You've got to turn your shoulders all the way back so that I can see part of your back and let that turn your lower body with it. Okay, so as you come through, get here, and I would practice from this point forward. So you can actually start here, and then you can add the walk up that I just showed later. But start here and just practice this step here. Back to target. Back to target. Back to target, and then you can just check and see. Your foot doesn't have to be as far back as mine is here. Mine naturally turns a little bit further back. As long as it's not forward like this, you're okay. So it can be 90 or a little bit back. Both are fine. So we're here. Good posture. Turn back. Make sure that this gets turned back. That way you get a nice back swing, and it's not already trying to open you and send your arm around. Got it? And then I would just calm down this punch. You don't need to, boom, try to get back like that. The shoulder going back is the important thing. Not that the arm gets fully extended. So it's not worth punching to get your arm all the way extended. It's basically this in terms of the feel. And then the only thing is we let this open up. So open, not punch. So it looks like this. Turn instead of like this. Right? It needs to be a turn, let it open. Does that make sense, my Steven Spielbergian brother? Boop. What? Yeah. Snuck one in on me. Ba-doop. Okay, that was our cue, yeah? Well, I'm assuming since he gave you permission for this, he's ready. So it's just letting the front do what it wants to do naturally, which would be following the hips, which follow the shoulders. Correct. Yeah, now naturally is always an interesting word because maybe naturally you want to do the wrong thing and move forward, but yes, naturally, ideally should be exactly as you've written. So, all right. The dark wolf from the Highlands. Okay. So this is a great example kind of what we were just talking about. Is he's got his feet corrected, but the arm, the backswing is not happening correctly. So it's kind of affecting some of the footwork, but how to describe this? Sip some coffee. Naturally, ideally, exactly as you've written. Can you believe people pay to hear me talk? It's unbelievable. Naturally unbelievable. Okay, so your arm here has a lot of boom, boom, right? This is happening during your walk up. So you take your right step and you have this big move forward, this extension here. So you punch forward and then you punch back. And it's unattached to your shoulder movement. Right? As a matter of fact, your shoulder's trying to go backwards, even in this frame, as your hand's going forwards. We want this to be a movement done in unison. So your whole upper body should be a unit. So you wouldn't have the shoulders going one way and the hand going the other way, and you don't want opposite movements here. So I would recommend doing some drills where you carry anything. I'll grab this thing from a sport long forgotten. Right, here we go. So I'm just holding this, and now I'll go through. Right, so this is creating fixed space, fixed unit with my upper body. Right, if I decide to send my hand forward, my shoulders are going to go forward a bit too. If I decide to send my hand backwards, my shoulders are going to go backwards, right? So this is creating fixed space. You might think Niklas, right? Here, here, and then when we go back, voila. Fixed space. If I had a disc here, you could see, whoop, this is just a backswing, right? So everything moved back together. And then, whoop, one hand goes forward. But we want unit. Right? So some people decide to swing the object forward because they like that rhythm. So they go, wee, wee, right? And they swing. They like that. Some people, Paul Macbeth, might do like a little mini pump. Boom. Right? Some people, like Simon and Drew, like to keep it very still. So it would just be here, Albert Tom, Niklas Antila, right? Very unit still feel. Doesn't matter which one you fall into, but it all has to move in unison. So I'd take something random, start moving it around with your walk up. Now, when you get a disc in your hand, do the same thing. Right? So I'm going to create this unit feel. I am Niklas, I am Niklas, I am Niklas, I am Niklas. Right, move forward through my walkthrough, feeling that my hand is attached to my shoulders, not that it's able to go do different things. Keep your hand on the disc, send them back together, and somewhere around here they can separate. Okay. I'll show you your form one more time so you can see what I see. See here? Shoulders moving back, hand moving forward. Hand moving back without the shoulders moving. They're like frozen on these frames. Or they move way slower than the hand if we want to be super technical. So that's going to help get everything prepped together. Okay. Huska, what's up? Life is good. Life is good. Looking forward to getting smacked with work in the off season. Hello? Just like pounded next door. Okay. First thing that stands out to me is that unless you're throwing super high, like your tilt doesn't need to be back like this. Be a little more neutral with your shoulders and hips. That's down. That's not neutral. Ignore me. Oh my gosh. Give me the straight line in a different color, please. Here we go. Yeah, you could be like a little bit more neutral. This is just like a little exaggerated on the upward. Right? So this to me would say, okay, this guy is launching this sucker in the air.
Josh, he's just doing the cheat code.
Yeah, he's exaggerating. Okay. Tick, 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 tick. What's the goal here? Because if the goal is distance form, that's too little coil. You'll have to get your like left shoulder back more. Yeah, if it's a slow shot, then doesn't the tilt fix itself then? Let me know if this is a slow shot or not slow shot. The tilt kind of fixes itself, right? The thing is your body still has to move from, like, if I'm throwing fairly level, right, or slightly up versus really up. Let's say, for example, I set up like this, right? This is my I'm throwing over a tree tilt. If I set up like this, it's going to affect other things, right? I'm hanging back. My center is laid back here, kind of over my left foot a bit more. Right now, if I try to go from here where my body's set up, the timing out of my X step to get to my front foot is going to change, right? Because now I've got to get from here to my tilt here to throw, right? So now my body has to go whoop and try to go back here, which is going to make bracing tougher, right? So it all matters, not to be so like fatalistic about it, but if you're up on this tilt, there are going to be like ramifications to your brace, and there's going to be ramifications to it's going to affect your other stuff, right? So if you're throwing up, no problem. If you're throwing high, right? But I would finish high too, right? So the tilt shouldn't be in and out. You kind of want to set your tilt, leave your tilt. Okay. So throwing level would be somewhere like that tilt-wise. Okay. Two things if you're trying to throw. So what do I do with it? It's not intentional. Well, just start. Instead of being back here and hanging out over your left leg, go more over your right leg. Just tilt forward a bit. So, yeah, there's no real like, just go here. Okay. Two things if you're trying to go for more distance, like 80% I would say is distance. So you got to get more coil here. So get your left shoulder more towards the target, or get your belly button more away from the target. That's thing one. Thing two, your left foot, you're just not bracing well enough. Your left foot is drifting forward. So I would just try to, hello, okay. Stage manager. So I don't know if you're like intentionally trying to sweep your left leg behind your right leg or not. So if you're trying to go from here and trying to go here and sweep it back, don't intentionally sweep it back. Kind of leave it where it's at and try to keep it there, and it will drift forward. Right, so if you go here, leave it, try to get your feet to stay in place here, and you'll end up here. Yeah, so if you're not thinking about it, you're just not you're not like bracing well enough with it. So when you go into your plant, whoop, try to keep both legs here. And then when you throw, this will lift. Right, but right now it's just going too far forward. So you have to try to stop it. So again, that's here. Create our base. This is our base, both legs. Throw. And then it'll pick up. Yeah, basically the video from a few days ago.
When you're describing them, like there's no thing, I could relate more to that statement. I was like, because people will ask me, so how do I do that? I'm like, you just do it.
Yeah.
You gotta turn your wrist like this. You do that.
Yeah.
There's nothing I can tell you other than like that's how to do it.
There is no BNC.
No BNC.
Is it helicopter? Okay, we have no cue. No cue. Time to go. HP Sauce. 1970. That's who's next.
Yeah.
This guy does not look like he was born in 1970. People adding random dates now. He used to know when someone was born. Now you can't tell.
Usernames meant something back then.
Yeah. This looks cool. This is a cool place.
Fusca, he was in Strasbourg.
Fusca, were you in Strasbourg? Like you wanted me to ask.
I've been there, and it looks like...
Whoa, getting fancy with it.
Whoa, dude, whoa. Interested? Dang.
Nope.
It's not even closed. I'm sure I've asked that before.
You've not asked it through me before. If this guy wasn't such a European, I might guess that this was in Colorado. I don't know why. You guys, so techie. Okay. What first? All right, you would go to standstill here.
No, literally, I don't know what I do. I'm curious to see what you would do.
Okay. I wanna fix his walk up. That's what I want to do.
Yeah, I wonder if he's like severe hip mobility issues.
To me, it looks like he's just trying to be very like tempered, controlled with his steps. Okay. So let's talk about what you need to do with the walk up. Starting with, which step do we start with? Left step first. Little left step. Okay. So with the walk up, I'm good here, Mikey? Okay. This left step, straight forward with your flare. So you've got a little bit of a tendency to keep kind of walking this way, just making things tough on you. We want to walk straight forward. So this first step is going to go straight forward with a flare. So forward step with a flare. Not a diagonal step, but a forward step with a flare. Now this next step, we're going to go forward, but we're also going to cross over and create space here. Okay, so far we got forward step with a flare, crossover step, where now this foot is pointing that way. Now we go through the space that we've created. Boop. There, it's okay if this foot turns a little bit back, but not too far back. So here, it doesn't need to be pointing directly that way. So mine right now is pointing kind of there. Not here, not directly there, somewhere in between. Okay, and then we do our final step, which is forward. Okay, so I'll go through that again. Forward with the flare. Forward, a little bit of a crossover. Forward from where it was at. Forward from where it was at, right? So very forward, 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 forward. And just like little flares here and there. Okay, so faster, do it with me again. Here, 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 here. Okay? So practice that. Notice I'm not turning. I'm not trying to do anything other than just the footwork, right? So when you do that, and you can do that 9 out of 10 times correctly, then you can start trying to do a turn. Okay, and the turn happens on the last step. So not here, not here, not here. So the disc is still in front of our body here, right? And then once we lift up our right foot and we start taking our final forward step, then we turn and get the disc kind of behind us like this. Got it? I'll show you that one more time and I'll put a disc in my hand. Here, 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 here.
I like it.
And lay like that.
Makes me realize I should probably just start with that with a lot of people because it's not that hard.
Right. That man underscore JP. Whoa. We got a Florida boy. Is a concrete T-pad. Nice. Oh, it was so close. I really love what you did here with the space up top. You kept it, unit, 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 all of the torso and the arms moving together. And then here, it's right at this moment, you stopped turning your shoulders back. And you just extended your arm, right? And your foot, your front leg actually started going forward, right? So we should expect, if you don't do anything with your lower body, that this angle right here that you have with this foot, that your other foot would land kind of similar, right? But you open it up really big, right? So that's you twisting this forward. But man, the start was great. You just have to go the rest of the way here. So here, turn the shoulders back, 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 back. Don't just punch the arm. Super close. Super close. All right, so you got boom, 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 and then right here it starts, and then you go, and you stop moving the shoulders. You say, I'm just going to send the hand the rest of the way. Maybe you didn't say that in your mind, but something said it. Here, here, and then just practice this. Take it back like that, like with the unit, and then extend. That way you can at least feel what it should feel like back here. All right, so if you're here, rotate both back together. Right, that's going to take, and turn that, let that hip go back because the shoulders are going to pull it back, right? There, and then you can start working in the separation of the hands later. Here, here, here. And then we're going to let them separate. Together, 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 separating. So when you finally plant, this foot isn't going to be forward. You're not going to be like torn in two directions here. It's just going to be back. But the work you did on the front end of the swing is obvious. It's apparent that you have worked on it. Just clean up that very last bit there, and then we'll be able to work on pull through, because you'll have space to pull through. Shoulders give space. When the shoulder goes back, it keeps this space right here more open instead of putting your bicep against your chest. And when you got biceps as big as yours, brother, you need all the space you can get. I don't need that much space. Itty bitty space. All right, cyanide angst. And we're back with cyanide. I'm back with the cyanide.
This is beard.
Your big beautiful beard. Every time I think about cyanide, I just think about how long he put up with the the way that it was like moving in his hand. That took forever to fix, but I mean, most people would probably just quit. Whee! Okay, let's see. Would removing my elbow from my body altogether help with the power pocket? Most definitely. I heard Gannon's actually having surgery to remove his. He takes a game that seriously. Like Novak Djokovic, that one. He's not giving up the chicken nuggets yet, though. Elbows before chicken nuggies. Yeah, here's a little extension of the arm while the shoulders don't move. So just look through these couple frames here where the shoulders are. Come on, Skeletor, show me. And then watch the extension of the arm while the shoulders aren't moving. right? Makes it a little tough for plant timing here because now your arm's fully extended, but you still got to wait on this plant to hit. It's a good thing you are an exceedingly patient man.
You still nailed it.
Yeah, just makes it tougher on you. I think you could get this left shoulder further towards the target and get a little bit better of a coil.
His patience reminds me of Evelina. Very patient.
Yeah, and the other thing that I'd look at is don't let this left foot roll to this heel here. You hang over your left foot for a really long time, like you're standing on top of it, is what I mean. Whoop, whoop. Like you're actually on top of your left foot for a really long time. Right. Until the point that you let it roll back to your heel here. We want it to be more of a like slow. Let's see. Do I have the? Oh, it's the first one.
This is Albert's hand, like he's the host.
See how his body's drifting past that left leg? Like he doesn't just hang out on it at any point. He lets it drift past. Right, and that helps him roll. Even though his foot is pretty far back, right? It's not like your feet are totally different in how far back they are. The way that you get off of your left foot is totally different because of how long you stay on top of it. You see how you're like keeping your head stacked above your left foot for a really long time? Here, stack, 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 stack. And now you have to wait to get onto this plant foot until your head gets back to center. Right? Instead, AB gets to his left foot and watch his head just continually drift forward past. He's not hanging out. Every frame that goes by, he's drifting forward. All right, so what you're doing, and I'm going to exaggerate here, is you're getting here and you're staying over your left leg for a really long time, and it's getting you kind of to roll off of this heel because you're trying to stay here, and that's the only way you can do it. You need to let your head drift forward, duk, 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 every frame, which will get you rolling inside. Right? Another way to think about this is try to stay on the inside of your left foot. Right? So the foot's going to roll like almost like this, like here to that. Right? Because you're going to be moving past this foot. You're not going to be staying on top of it. So again, don't go chasing waterfalls and don't go here and try to stay over this left and stretch here because you have to wait a really long time. It's going to be really weird for other technical reasons. Here, drift. The head's moving with the body, not staying over the leg. This is the bad one, if that's not clear. This isn't showbiz. This is disc golf. Okay. So roll on past that left foot.
That needs to be a video at some point.
Put it on the list.
Very important concept. Doctor.
If you take my screen off, then I'll add it to our video list. Although I don't know why it's a problem if they see my video list. Boop, boop. Hey, you were next in the queue anyways.
Oh, doctor.
Dr. Rocketer.
Dr. Rocketer.
An OE without an umlaut? Come on now. I feel like your name has changed though, because I've definitely seen this T-pad, but the name seems new to me. How long has the name been the same?
Well, you just said it wrong last time. You said like Dr. Rocker or something like that last time. I can't remember what you said.
Mm-hmm. This has not been his name every time that he submitted a form review. I don't.
Like one other time.
No, he's submitted from this T-pad for years.
What?
Back when we were in your office, he submitted us a video. Right? How long have you been submitting form review videos? When was the earliest form review video you submitted? And did you change your username? I could be wrong. But you don't forget a T-pad like this. One simply does not forget a T-pad like this.
Let's go. Get out of here, bro.
No.
Let's go.
I've seen this T-pad more than twice.
Bro.
Where is this T-pad? Where is this T-pad? You hadn't seen all the early ones.
What do you mean?
No.
I've been here since the beginning, bro. The exact same amount as you.
I saw this in one of those mind-melting ones. The Great Inquisition. Okay, I could be wrong. Maybe nobody else submitted. Definitely wasn't you if it was this same T-pad. Where is this T-pad?
Where's the Steven?
Okay. So two heelward here. We gotta work a little bit on the footwork on this right step here. I don't care about frozen pizza. I want to know course and hole number. Let me go back through all the old reviews. Hours and hours to find this. There's got to be an AI that can do that for me. Find this T-pad in our videos. Okay, so for real though, this right step's kind of giving you a little bit of trouble because you're sitting back on it. Yeah, we got to go footwork so we can coil better. Oslo, Norway. See, that seems good for me. I've seen it before. I know I have. Okay. But I was definitely wrong about it being you. I guess. Okay. So here, your foot's too far forward and you're staying towards your heel. You're leaning back off of the shot, right? So when you get to this next shot, you're falling away again, and you're just on your heels the whole time, right? Which is putting you here. So we've got to get off of our heels. We're going to go here. Boom. So this right step has got to turn, and now you got to be side on to the target. Side on, and you got to stick your butt out. You got to be here towards your toes so that you can go here, not here, falling back, and then here, and then getting you in this position because you're heelward here. Let me show you. You see that? Whoop. So you're laid back a bit there with the lower body. It's kind of like this, right? Laid back a bit. Needs to be forward. Here, butt out if I was carrying something. Just not a bad thing to do. Right? I know you Europeans know how to use kettlebells. Here, here, here. Right? Keeping you forward. More towards your toes. Well, if he keeps doing it like that, he's going to need more hip range of motion. Way easier if you do it the right way. I'm not saying you don't need more range of motion. I don't have any clue. But chances are he doesn't need more range of motion to do what I'm asking him to do. You'd have to have like pretty severely limited range of motion internally. Right, so there, towards the toes. Right, or if we were here, boom, 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 big coil. There. With the disc. Here, over it. So the disc, we're over the disc, we're over the shot. This foot here. And now when we turn, and we turn our shoulders coil, it's going to turn this backwards. Does that make sense? Pretty simple, but very important. Let me just give a disclaimer again. I'm 100% for physical work. You need it, but it's not probably not the limiting factor here.
T-pad for the fall off the cliff video.
Yeah. The one, did you play the one in, when we went down to Dillon's, what's that place that has the mine hole? It starts with an E. Etowah. Yeah, we did. You, me, Robbie.
Oh, where Alden was there?
No.
Oh, yeah. You, me, Robbie, Dylan. And Dakota, maybe.
I was trying to think about Dakota. I don't think Dylan was there. Dylan was not there.
Somebody, what's the one that we played? It was you, me, Dylan, and then Robbie joined like pretty late. And he came running over. Is that Noah? Remember when he like sprinted over from the field to meet us on one of the holes? And he went and then he came and embraced us.
Was that Oregon Park?
That's just one I remember. And then the other one I remembered was when we played the Slinky guy, Dylan,
Lanky guys and
we met Alden, and I was like,
oh, Little Mulberry. We played Little Mulberry. That was that one.
So every time I see you. Our dads are friends.
Oh no, sorry. That one was that one was not Little Mulberry. I know which one you're talking about though. Yeah, that was different. Anyways. Okay, Griffin longboards at me. We got two guys from the same place, huh?
Yeah. Buddies.
Bum bum ba ba dee da.
Mm-hmm.
Look familiar?
So familiar.
Yeah. Yeah, actually pretty solid overall. Quite solid overall. I think if we're saying like, okay, can we get more distance? Yes, you can coil more. Which would be nice, but your biggest thing is your space and your backswing. And it's mostly because you're twisted in here. You have to kind of bring the disc by your body vertical this way. So you're going here and kind of pulling in like this, like you're doing a underhanded row. So what we want is, we call this like win the arm wrestle here, where if you have your arm here, bend down that way. So that gets a little bit of tension here. Obviously, we're not trying to hurt ourselves here, but you want to be more that direction versus if you lost the arm wrestle, if you were here, right, and put your disc back there. Now, like, my elbow pit is skyward, right, which means when my elbow is going to bend, it's going to bend down and in, right? So we want the elbow out, away from the body, or lifted, so that when the elbow bends, we're bending into space. Yep. So, when the arm wrestle, maintain this position as you go back, right? Probably you're going to want to, like your body's naturally going to want to go like this and roll out of it and roll your bicep like upward. Don't let it do that. Stay here. There. Now, I'm not really focused on what happens here at the forearm level. I'm not saying your disc needs to be down like this. More than likely, your disc is going to be up, and you win the arm wrestle. It's probably going to be closer to flat or maybe even tilted down this direction a little bit where the stamp's facing you. But that's not as important as this upper part of the arm here. So win the arm wrestle here, and then as you go back, you should be there where my elbow, which is right here, is pointed more out than down. Right. And then you can pull through, kind of maintaining that move. So that's the first thing I would fix, is try to get that space so you don't run out of room alongside your chest here. And collapse your pocket. All right, now your brother of discs. It's always nice to have people to work alongside.
Who is this?
This is Cragon. Cragon. Great Cragon. Wait. I should be doing... Sorry. Someone said they were here.
HJLDJ.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm doing you now.
Yeah.
Wait, Cragon, wait your turn. I'm sorry. That's my bad. You super flexy children. Get this foot turned. He's moving so fast. Dang, the camera's got high standards. You should be here by now. Now, not that you want to be a professional videographer, but whoever is taking video, it's totally sufficient just to stay in place. You don't have to like follow them. Make it easier on you. And a little easier on us too. So, small thing. This is no problem. I can view it this way, but it's just a tiny bit better the other way. Okay, so I want to fix this step here so it's not so forward, so you don't have to fling your hips so far around to fight against that. Yeah, it's just making it hard for you to have enough time to coil because you were so uncoiled before that. Come on. Okay. Yeah, so two things. This moment here. So don't take this step, don't leave this step forward like this. Okay, turn this step sideways. So you got your left step, and now your right step, this is going to change, and it's going to go here. Instead of being here, it's going to go here. Okay, so you're going to be more side on already at this point. And then, once you get here, you can go back. Make sure that your left step, so we're here now, make sure that this left step doesn't go all the way back here when you do that with your right foot, right? So the steps are here, boom, sideways, and then a little bit backwards. And then from here, to your coil. Okay? I'll do it moving away from you as well. Simon Griffin, we just did yours like a little bit ago. Let me know if you have questions. So here, now sideways, now a little bit back, and then coil. Okay? Now once we have your final step down here, so once you get here, make sure that you don't start twisting here. There's no twist of this back leg. You just want stick it and just leave it there and then throw. Right? And when you throw, this might move, and that's fine. Leave it, throw. And it might move, but don't twist it forward. Sorry, I missed your name in the queue up there at 10:48. I was like 20 minutes ago. Sorry. Kragen. Do you think the Pro Tour should have a disc limit? And if so, how many do you think it should be? I don't think so. I just don't know that there's a huge benefit to carrying that many discs. It seems unnecessary. So, yeah. I feel like there are very few people who carry tons of discs. And if they do, it's people who are like proficient on lots of angles, forehand and backhand. But probably not the guys who throw really fast. So. Okay, I would flare this foot a little more this way instead of being forward. Okay, so here's the plant. Tuk, 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 tuk. So you've got to work on the timing aspect here a little bit. You got a little nose angle. You're just coming out of the pocket. You're here in the pocket, and you're pushing down a little bit like this, so your nose is just like a bit up, just a tiny bit up. So I would have your palm down a little bit in the pocket, so more like here, and then go the opposite way and roll the fingers up versus roll the thumb down, right? This way, this way, this way. You can use just a little bit of that. Your nose angle is close, but I think it's probably up, and you're losing a bit on that interaction. Okay, with that being said, the form issue is definitely plant to pull through timing, and part of that is here. Boop. Okay. So instead of here, we're going to go here. Now we're sideways so that we don't have to turn back at all during this step. So you're turning back here, and now you're really back, and it's hard for you to wait here a really long time, right? So it's going to make the timing a little bit easier, this first step, instead of being here, if it's here, because then we're here, we're still side on here, and then at this point, once we lift up our right leg, we start turning, right? Big turn, and then you have to wait for this foot to hit before you throw, okay? So it's going to be here, here, turn, 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 turn. There's the plant. Now that I'm planted, I'm still back here, and then throw. So it's here, boop, turn that, don't turn here, turn back, the plant is hit, and we're all the way back, and then we throw. So again, here, all the way sideways, straight through, coil, plant, throw.
What are your thoughts on people that come into their brace like putting a lot of pressure on their toe?
Mm-hmm. And then what?
Like they slowly get to the heel because they push on.
Yeah. So Mikey's question, and for those who couldn't hear, I don't know if you can or can't hear that. His question is about the brace. What do you do when people come in really strong on their toe? Right? The thing that usually happens when people come in strong on their toe is they subdivide the plant mentally into, usually they're going toe, heel, and they're trying to make that a thing. And so what often you'll see, or what often I've seen, is that they'll be here, boom, peak reach back is there. Mm-hmm. Instead of peak reach back being here, full foot. Right? So when we're talking about planting, we're not talking about when your toe touches. This is not planted, because you're going to go like this. And you're going to go from here, and then you're going to hit your heel, and you're going to be here, already moving forward. Now you're planted, and this is all the swing you have left. It's not enough. So when I see people toe side, usually it is accompanied by they're here, and then they're going, okay, toe, heel, which is not it. It needs to be plant, throw. One step. The plant is one move. It's just one stop move. And if I'm stopping in anything, if I'm sliding, I'm not thinking, oh, let me toe and then heel. Slide. All right. I got good ankles. I got those dad ankles. What? No such thing as dad ankles.
Okay, you fix it the same way I do. It's like don't go toe down. Just try to get to your full plant.
Yeah, just full plant. It's one step. It's just one. Yeah. There's no. I mean, how could you possibly time that too? Toe heel. Good luck. So, yep. Yeah, I rarely have to go into a subdivided. Like, I rarely have to go, okay. It's when people know, the only time I have to go the opposite direction is if somebody knows that people should finish on their heels, and so they go directly to the heel. And they just like peg leg that sucker.
I see.
Yeah, it's like, okay, that's not how you stop.
Right. They go to the back of the foot and like immediately pivots.
Yeah. And there's no brace. Yeah, they're just like.
Yeah.
It's like, what? That's not going to stop you. And it looks like that. It's like the straightest thing. There's like no pressure. No, when you plant, you have to plant. It's got to be a stop, which is a bent leg. Is a bent leg, full foot. Reminds me of tennis. We have people who are just like, wah! They lose a point. Like, dang, brother. Like, this is the last one. Oh, sorry. Name is.
Oh.
Dan Gerpon. Dangerous Pawn. This guy's the final boss. Who's the final boss? Who is that supposed to be?
Looks like an ape.
An ape?
With like fiery arms.
Come on, chat. You know.
I don't think he's anyone particular. I think it's just a random final looking boss design.
Okay. This is too dainty. Oh, hold up. Yeah, it's just a logo for someone. It's like a ghosty type thing. Makes it sound like, blah. Okay. Yeah, this is too dainty. So there's a natural, like, cadence. There's a natural cadence to walking, to moving, right? And the size of your steps is dictated by how fast you're moving. So right now, you're trying to be too exact with each step, and you're not kind of asking the question of, okay, what is the whole point of this walk up? Right, so if we look here, tiny step, you're like 6'7", and you've got the steps of like a 4'9" gymnast, maybe smaller. Right, you can move. You can move naturally. So the goal, what's the whole point? The whole point is we're moving. We've got some momentum towards our target. Right? It doesn't really do us any good. We're not getting anything if it's a step, pause, step, pause, step, pause, step, pause. It's like you might as well have just stood there, right? If you're going to put brakes in it everywhere. We've got to walk through. It's got to be natural. It's got to be flowing. Right? You've got to glide. Right? So you've worked on the orientation of each step, obviously, but it's time to get out of super mechanical brain. It's time to put the whole thing back together. You've ripped it apart. You said, okay, left foot, right foot, what are all these pieces? What are we looking at here? Now you got to put it back together and say, what is the whole? What's the purpose? The purpose is the walk up gets us momentum towards our line. gets us moving towards our line, right? There's an accuracy component that comes with that. If I'm walking up towards my line, my body wants to throw that direction for the most part, right? So by stopping, we kind of lose that. But if we walk directly up to our line, now my hand wants to go the direction that I walked for the most part, right? We can still screw it up, but that's benefit one. The other benefit is that while we're moving, it helps us coil more. Just because, like, if I had you try to do the splits stationary, right, and you just went here a little bit at a time, right, versus if you just slid into it and brought more, you'd be able to, and I can't go further than this, but you'd be able to get deeper. You'd have a wider range of motion just because you were moving. Whoop. Right, so we get more coil potential when we're moving, right? So naturally I get there when I'm moving versus if I'm just here, natural. It's quite a bit shallower, right? If I'm moving, for whatever reason, the body's stretchier versus if I'm just here and just do it cold, right? So those are kind of the two things that a walk-up does. Yes, there is some momentum that you bring in. If I'm walking, if I'm holding a disc and I'm moving at 4 miles an hour, the disc is moving 4 miles an hour, so I can add that to my throw. But that's minimal, right? The big things are let's flow. The movement helps us coil, but you want to be smooth with it. It needs to be repeatable, right? So blocky, chunky doesn't serve any of our purposes. We've got to learn to glide, right? So quite simply, your footwork in terms of each step is not bad, but it's missing kind of the heart behind it. So you need to just work on flowing. You just need to watch Simon, watch these guys who are really smooth with it, throw, and just try to emulate them, just try to copy them. Okay, so there's a lot to be said about just putting Simon on and just trying to feel like you imagine his throw feels like. Right, you'll get way smoother. It'll all be better connected. So you got to kind of trust your body at this point. You've done the technical work, smooth it out. For my best, farthest throws, they feel almost as easy as my toned down shots. The difference between a PR shot and a regular shot doesn't feel that different. Is that normal? Yeah, it's normal. That's one of the great things about tech disc is people are like, all right, I'm going to get it now. And they're like warming up and they get to like just below, I'm going to get it now. And you're like, wow, this is great. Okay, let me try to crank on it. And they try to crank on it and they do worse. It's like, well, seeing the numbers, you're like, I should just go slow. And it's like, yeah, exactly. Just go smooth because the timing's easier to do when you're a little bit slower. Like, faster training is not a bad thing. It's good for the purpose of increasing your output potential, but it doesn't increase your efficiency. Not at the high speeds, right? When you increase your output potential, it increases your efficiency at the smooth speeds. But yeah. Found the boss. Drop it. Drop the boss. Drop it like it's hot. Does the stepping change if you do a hyzer flip versus the anhyzer? Asking as a newbie. The direction does not change. Other things change, like your body posture. Where you aim changes, right? So if I've got a basket here and I'm throwing an anhyzer over here, I'm going to walk this way. So it looks different. If I'm throwing a hyzer to get the basket, I'm going to walk that way. So in a very literal sense, it does change, but the walking towards where you're throwing your initial line, right? Because I'm throwing here for an anhyzer. I'm going to throw there, and the disc is going to turn and go there, right? So I control where I'm throwing by where I'm walking, and then I let the disc do the rest of the path. I go here. I'm going to walk that way. I'm going to throw that way and let the disc come out on hyzer and gets the basket. So the direction technically changes, but the actual walk up doesn't really. Then you change your body position to get the different angles. So, yeah. What it do, master? Who that be? Who that be? Are you? Why'd you say master? Well, my first name on Clash of Clans was Master because it popped up with that little like village lady, and I was thinking Master Chief is where he was going. But like maybe this is like a real throwback to somebody who like knows me from way back when. But yeah, so the little lady like pops up on the little tutorial lady. She's like, "What should I call you?" It's like Master. I didn't think anybody would see it.
Pop in the chat, call me friends. I'd be like, dude.
Yeah. Who'd that be? Yeah. Don't know what to tell you, Meng. Do a little Evan check-in. He came up, we did some work. We're thinking about filming some content with him when he comes in. I just wasn't prepared to film content with him when he got up here the first time. And then, of course, all the stuff that we talked about, you guys would have loved and enjoyed. And I was like, well, we missed that. Yeah, this is his throw currently. After I don't know, an hour and a half of work or something like that. So he knows how to work, that's for sure. Obviously, we're working, it's a little rigid. He's not super fluid on like the follow through and stuff like that. But it's good. So if you guys have anything that you want to see with Evan, then let me know. I'll go into here. Putting practice and routine was requested on our Discord. Shot selection stuff, like where he and I would go to New London. And we'd go through shot selection. I'd like to ask him questions on why he's picking shots, or just go back and forth, right? And it's going to help me learn. And I think it's also good to have people who aren't just throwing shots on tour and like aren't just in a default, right? To have that back and forth and say, I would have thought this, or we might just be on the same page for a lot of stuff. We might not be on the same page. So be a fun back and forth. It'll be at least be beneficial for me. And so for me, at least it's worth it. And then his tournament warm-up routine and all that people wanted to know. So if you got more than that, feel free to drop it. I think we're about to hop off because we're done. And number 2, I've got lessons later. And I'll need to get some lunch. But yeah. All right. Whoop, whoop. Chipotle all day. Yep. All right, guys. Peace out. Oh yeah, Gyropalooza boxes. If you're planning on getting one, we'd appreciate it if you considered buying from us. But I just hit you, so I understand if you don't. Is that what you wanted? All right, guys. For real. Peace.